Well, things couldn't get better. They certainly have. We're here at the Cabbage Key Inn and Restaurant with General Manager, Assistant Manager, Big Boss, Head Honcho.
It's okay, we promoted you.
All right, I'll take it.
Mark, thanks for having us.
Oh, glad to be here and glad to have you guys here.
Now, this is a really cool restaurant. You've got dollar bills hanging from the ceiling, all over the walls, all over the support poles. How did all this come about?
Oh, back in 1969 when the bar was put in, that's when the fishermen began putting money up. The story goes, when they were out there fishing, they used to sell the fish off the boat. And they would stop in here and have a drink and a burger or whatever. And they started writing their name on a dollar, get it wet and stick it on the wall. So if they had a bad day fishing and they didn't sell any fish, they knew they could come in here and reclaim that dollar for a burger or a drink or both. But the fishing is so good out here that they never had to reclaim their dollars. They always made money.
So how much do you think is hanging around here?
The owners estimate around $80,000 to $100,000 in that range.
Yeah. Have you ever been tempted just to scoop it up and go on vacation?
Tempted maybe, but would never try something like that. Yeah, it'd be hard to use it with all the writing on there, and I think most of the locals know where it came from if they saw it.
Talk to me about, because I had it a couple minutes ago, and I guess there's some question about the history of this, but tell me about the cheeseburger in paradise.
The Jimmy Buffett connection?
Yeah.
Well, the story is, obviously Jimmy Buffett used to hang out here, and he would play his guitar in the bar for people, and this is on his way to becoming well-known. At one point, he did a concert in Fort Myers, and he invited the owners and the staff to come see him there. He had befriended a lot of people that worked here, and when they got to the concert, they were all sitting there in the audience, and during the concert, he says, "I have a new song. I've never played it publicly before. This is the first time, and I'm dedicating this performance of it to the staff at Cabbage Key," and he pointed them out in the audience, and then he played Cheeseburger in Paradise for the first time, and that's how the connection got made.
Oh, very, very cool. These desserts, we thought we had some great desserts last night. These are fabulous. You get a chef here?
We do have a chef. The key lime pie, the frozen key lime pie, has a lot of history to it. Fern Butters was the lady's name that came up with that recipe back in the 30s. Key lime pie was never sold commercially, and she devised a recipe, a no-bake recipe for key lime pie, because back in the day, a lot of people didn't have ovens, and it was very uncommon to get a cold dessert with a hot meal. So she's the first one. It was in the Keys area where she first sold it, and because we like to promote the historical significance of the inn, we served that key lime pie that was popular back then. It was popular all over the country, and she took her recipe to the grave with her. She never wrote it down, never told anybody, and when she died, a lot of people tried to mimic it to get it exactly like she had it, and this is our version of that key lime pie.
So you're on your own island here, and I mean, we could spend probably an hour talking about the specifics of this, but give me sort of the Reader's Digest version of how do you run an inn and a restaurant that you can only get to by boat? The logistics must be a nightmare.
Well, luckily for us, the Wells family, Mr. and Mrs. Wells, back in 1976, they worked it out, all the details, the logistics of it. But we are on a tight schedule every day with the delivery of the food, the beer, the liquor at the marina, loading it on the boat, transporting it over here, loading it onto a tractor, bringing it into the walk-in, into the freezer, and getting it where it needs to be. It takes everybody that we have, our boat driver, the people that load the boat, the people that drive the tractors. Everybody's involved in making sure it gets here quickly, and the fish and the chicken and things like that don't have a chance to get warm. We got to keep them cool. So it is a lot of work by a lot of different people, just kind of bringing everything together. Everybody's job is intertwined, and hopefully at the end of the day, the guests had a good experience, whether they're staying here, they had a clean room, a good meal, and they enjoyed the island. Even the people that manicure the island and pick things up every day, it's just as important.
Yeah, it's hard not to enjoy it. It's absolutely gorgeous, stunning. Mark, thanks for having us. Thanks for the stories, and I'm getting into some more dessert.
All right, well, thanks for being here. Glad to have you, and send all your listeners out.
All right, will do. Thank you.